Good. While you're fiddling, I'm going to just say something to the people who are watching. Today is Friday, May 29th, and there's a couple back and forth because Sarah is taking a special course that she gonna lead us into a special virtual event eventually in the future. She's taking a 3-day classes, which I was really wanted to do it, but I couldn't do it because I have something with the NSA tomorrow and Sunday. So I passed the information to Sarah, and she is taking on the class. And luckily, she has a break. But in the meantime, she was asking Elaine to sit in to have a conversation with me instead of me talking to myself. But now we have two. We have both Sarah and Elaine. So welcome, welcome both.
Thank you, Lee. So, welcome, Elaine. I'm so glad that you are with us. So, we will have a good conversation. So, let us start with our introduction as usual. And Lee, why don't you lead?
Okay, I'm going to do a very, very short today.
Sure.
My name is Lee Tran. I am one of those many, many refugee survivors many years ago. And the platform today here is we gathering people in the same scenario. Sarah and I, we went both, have been through a lot, and we feel like we need to have a platform to share our story, our struggle, our difficult, our triumph, our victory, what we learn with our audience. So that was just my part. If you need more information, you can always watch my TEDx talk. It under my name. It's called "I Did Not Miss the Boat," and you'll find out more. Or just tune in every day, and you'll hear about us a little more each day. So that's just my part.
Okay. All right. And I'm Sarah. Sarah M. Similar to Lee, I grew up in Cambodia instead of Vietnam, like Lee. Cambodia went through a horrible time back in the 70s when the communists took over our beautiful country and turned everything upside down. And they turned my life upside down as well. And I had to be forced to live in under this regime, work in the forced labor camp, and I almost didn't make it. I was so sick, almost died, but God saved me, and I was able to survive and escape. And finally, I arrived in United States. So that's my shortest version of the story. But I have my book. It's called How I Survived the Killing Fields, the story of hope, love, and determination. You can find it on my website, sarahim.com. So that's about me. And
Today
Elaine,
we have a special guest. Elaine, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Elaine Creasman. I am a freelance writer and an inspirational speaker. And some of the other things I've been involved in, I was a mental health tech on a psychiatric ward for about 17 years, helping the mentally ill. I've been through certain traumas and tragedies in my life and certain things happening growing up, relationship issues. And so God just leads me to write about those and how he intervenes. And, I write about spiritual growth. I write about social issues. And I do have a book. One of my books, the latest, is a marriage book to help people who are going through difficulty in marriage. And it's called Or for Worse, Loving Your Husband Through Hard Times. And I wrote it under a pen name of Emma Chambers. And only after I chose that name, Emma, I found out it means whole. So that was really nice.
Nice.
The Lord showed me that through him, I did become whole because I battled a lot of depression, suicidal thoughts myself. But God has delivered me from that. So I want to help others to see that, he can bring us to the point of being all he wants us to be.
And I believe we have you on once before, right, Elaine?
Yes, I was with you before.
I think you probably were the first one.
yes,
One of the first,
Yeah, I mean, that was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that was over 2 months ago. How
Yes.
time flies.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, welcome back.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back. And I miss being with people in person, but it's
I
nice to be
know,
here.
don't we all? That's why we're doing this every day. We could have
I
just do it
know
once a
it
week.
helps. It helps.
Yeah, we could have do it once a week, but we said that we this is just too crucial. I mean, it's in a way that somehow we reaching to people that we're hoping that will make some impact to them. We don't know how many people are watching and who's watching.
Right.
And it's good to see that there's like 50, 60 views a day. So
So that's
definitely there's people who are tuning in, which is good.
Right. Yeah. So we will uh, carry our conversation instead of we rambling around everything. We choose a topic each day. So our topic today is about being consistent. What does it mean to be consistent? What does it do to us? Why do we need to be consistent? That's all kind of questions that coming from that. So how do you feel about being consistent, uh, Lee?
Me, oh my God, consistent is the hardest thing. Commitment and consistency. And I think we have been doing very well being consistency and commitment because we are in here at 5 o'clock every day, almost, except once or twice that we got caught in a different show or different things that we couldn't make it. But I think it's almost like for me, it helps me when I have an accountable partner to be consistent. Like, it's really hard, but consistency is almost like repeating to doing the same thing with commitment every day until the goal is done or until that become your habit. And I have been doing consistency on my daily motivations. And I start that, I think, like a couple days before we did this show. So I have to say that being online on the social media, not knowing who's watching or not, I don't even pay attention to that. But I want to make a habit that I am consistently being comfortable with the camera. And I'm proud to say that those two platforms, those two things have been consistent as I move forward. So it's something I'm still learning and still trying to be very hard to stick to it, because consistency will bring you success and bring you to the deadline. And those are really, really tough. As we dive in more, I can tell you more about consistency, but I want to give Elaine a chance to tell us about how she approached consistency.
Well, since Sarah mentioned that to me, I've been thinking quite a bit about that. And I asked myself, why am I consistent in certain things with no problem? In other things, it's such a battle. One of the things, I'm a jogger, I run 4 times a week, and I never miss. And I'm pretty good with maintaining a healthy lifestyle, but other things I struggle with is being consistent with writing. As a writer, my desire is to write every day, to put something down on paper, but certain times I'm not consistent with that. And the other thing I think of sometimes is with my quiet time with the Lord. I may read the Bible or spend a little time in prayer, but I really want that quality time with the Lord where I'm listening, I'm discovering what He wants for me that day. And that can be hard. And even just the everyday things at home, consistency and doing the housework, taking care of the yard, just different tasks that need to be done can be a struggle. And one of the things that I've been talking about with different people lately is the social media, and how people are saying you have to be consistent in appearing on social media. And that can be hard for me, but I'm asking the Lord, how do I do that? And one way, instead of doing some great big thing like maybe a big blog or some whatever the Lord is laying on my heart, I say I can put that on social media somewhere. And it doesn't have to be something really big. It could be just a Bible verse, but doing it consistently is key.
I think bite size the key. I mean, just a little bit of something. I mean, we have a tendency of rambling on. I know I do. So I have to like nip it in the bud and just talk about that and be done with it. And now I'm get to the point that it's almost like a routine. Like I feel something's bugging me if I haven't get that done. Like let's get that out of the way. It's almost like brushing your teeth when you get up.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the routine. I am a routine person. If I get out of my routine, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
become lazy. I'm lazy. I can't do anything. So, but but if I have my own routine, so I enjoy doing that. Like for example, I have a group, a networking group that I host every week, and then COVID-19 hit, and then I I had to think about what can I do now. My routine is interrupted. I cannot go out to meet people anymore. So I'll create my own virtual meeting so I can get into my routine. So that's how I operate because something that you that I feel is beneficial to me and to my group, I will keep doing it. So I have also a Bible study group that I lead every Wednesday night. It's just like a few weeks we didn't meet, and I, I feel not right because this thing get out of my routine. So I put it back onto a virtual Bible study. So
Yeah.
that's me. Be consistent. It's in my bone. I need to be consistent in order for me to move forward. So
Yeah. I mean, for me, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's like, I want to add on something new and exciting. But if you have a, like, it's good to have something consistency for a period of time. And then I want to just like move to a new thing,
oh yeah,
something different, something. Sometimes it's good to be having no routine, you know what I mean? Like spontaneous and just do it. And sometimes I go with passion. I would go 3 day writing nonstop, and then I would just stop completely for a couple weeks because I don't know, but I find that consistency actually would move you steadily, not big like a big leap, but it will inch you little by little. So there's thing that we should do it with passion. Like, okay, let's get it done, get it, have it, do it until it's done. And there's thing that it's like you can't rush it. You just do a little every day. It become a habit, and then it'll get it done. So yeah, there's so many things that business owners, like I was a business owner and I'm still a business owner. My mindset is very much about you know um, productivities and getting things goal setting and all this thing, but consistency would help definitely. I would say that if we can stick with something consistently. I know there's certain thing I'm routinely, like making my bed and exercise is one of another hard one to be consistently. I would do it like a couple weeks, and if I drop one day, it's really hard to get back. So that is something I need to be mindful as well.
yeah, and what do I want to say? Uh, develop one routine at a time. So once you get the routine, continue, and then add something else that inspired us. So like this thing with you, Lee. This is something new that I add on to my already routine. This is now my regular routine.
Me too. I was like, I'm doing everything. I was like, well, it's 5 o'clock. Is it 5 o'clock yet? It's and
Uh,
it's good because it start to find a purpose. Like, okay, so we have a topic today. Let's think about that topic. So it's got your mindset to kind of like it will your mind to start get to a certain thing, so you're not wandering around all the time. So that's a good routine.
right. Also, having the routine, being consistent, it helps us to overcome the challenges when sometimes challenge hit and distract us from moving forward, from doing our own routine. So, but we say we commit to ourselves, like you said, we have committed to this. So if we have a challenge, we have to overcome that challenge. We have to find a way to continue our routine that we already believe in and we are committed to. So once we overcome that, we will continue, move forward. So that's how I feel.
Let
Anything
me
else?
ask both of you, do you feel is it easier to have an accountable partner? For me, it is.
Yeah,
Yes, I think so.
definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the new COVID is making our schedule all upside down. We're kind of like I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things, routine meetings being, now it's transferred into onlines, and you don't have to attend if you don't need to, or you can attend, but you can still check your mail and still go into the kitchen, grab something to eat, and you're not focused. But I think for those things that I feel that different thing I want to achieve, I make a Zoom accountable partner just to get me going. I don't know about you. Tell me, how do you struggle with, how do you overcome your regular routine consistency to get things done?
Elaine, you have any example of?
Well, one of the things I was thinking about is that I have a problem sometimes with procrastination. And I'll say, like, take writing. You can say, oh, I'll do that later. But then all these things happen. And so if we want to be consistent, we have to have a way to say, I'm going to get that accomplished. And one of the things with writing that helps so much is if you get up early before anybody else and you go do your writing, because there's not going to be the interruptions, not as much of a temptation to say, oh, well, I'll just do it later. If you have a set time, and it's almost like you make an appointment, just like we have appointments for meetings and things like
Yeah.
that. But if you just say with your writing, well, I'll do it if I feel like it and if there's time, because sometimes it's not even about not having the time, you just wait for some feeling to come up, as writers yourself, like you want some grand inspiration before you will accomplish something. Sometimes that can be for many areas of your life. You're waiting to be like totally inspired, but you just have to do it and not think about, oh, I'll wait till I feel a certain way. So
So
that's my
I am a night owl. I'm not a morning person. So for me,
So
at
you
night,
work at night, yeah.
yeah. But I have a group. It's called Shut Up and Write. They meet on Monday and Thursday. I'm going to invite you to that group
Oh
because
yes, that sounds good.
every
I love
Monday
the
and
title.
Thursday from 8 to 10. We will chat for 15 minutes at the top of the hours, and then we'll write for 45 minutes. So it's a nice tight group that
Oh, that's good.
people hop on when they, so it for me is like, okay, if I have something, those are the time that I need to write, but usually I write at night or whenever I feel like it, because I feel writer is really hard. It's got a lot of time writer blocks, and it come with inspiration. If you don't have that inspiration, it's really hard to get anything out of your brain.
Yeah. So what I learned from some get some input from other people is that it's something that is that require you to do it on a consistently. You have to block on your calendar. You put it
Mhm.
on your calendar. This is my writing time. This is my
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
family time.
One other issue with my writing is years ago, I prayed to the Lord, how can I be inspired with my writing and do my writing? And two things he told me, which I sometimes fail to do. He said, if I would go to the beach and walk on the beach, that would be an inspirational time. There's something about the beach that's like, you feel God there because it's so big, and just the sound of the waves, just something about that, or being out in nature in other ways as well. But then also going to the library. There's something about the library for me, because especially the one by my house, because it's part of a college. So when the people
Mm.
are there, they're working hard. And so when I'm around them, I feel inspired. So that's one way. If I would listen to what the Lord, the instruction he gave me, that works, to go to the
It's
library
just
more often.
fascinating. Everybody have different way of
Yeah,
get inspired, right? For
exactly.
me, I love listening to podcasts.
Oh,
Like,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, things to get me my brain thinking, or grab a book. like several books. I would just grab different book and I would just flip on a different page and just randomly read something to get my brain going.
Yeah, I found enjoyment by going to YouTube and listen
Mm,
some of the inspirational speech or some educational talk. So I found that if I get bored or a little bit frustrated about something, I'll go to YouTube and enjoy
yeah.
myself.
There's so many ways that you can get inspired nowadays. That's
Yeah,
no shortage, that's for sure.
Another thing that comes to my mind about why I'm not consistent in certain things is because I battle at times with perfectionism. Like I
Mm,
don't want to do it unless I can do it perfectly. Like
yeah.
like see, you all come on and do things on video and I say, "Oh, I don't know. It's not going to be like perfect or something, you know, but we have to let go of that. We just have to do
You know,
what it is we're called to do."
I have one thing in my my framework. It's called outsmart fear by taking action quickly.
Oh, I like that.
And I have tried to do that. So this whole entire thing, I thought about that on Sunday. And while I was cooking, I called Sarah up. I was like, Sarah, are you up for it? We're gonna do a conversation every day. And she's like, every day, even the weekend? I was like, no weekend, just Monday through Friday. And we don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about, you know, a little bit of here, there, our history, our whatever. And we're just going to but we're going to do it. So Tuesday, Sunday, we talk about that. Tuesday, we just roll right in. And
Wow.
it have not looked back ever since. And
Wonderful.
we were taking an extra step to do it on live now. So
yeah,
That's good.
yeah. So we were thinking, before we want to do like 2 o'clock, well, maybe not
yeah,
two.
we're talking about, you know, what's a good time, because it is hard to do it during the day because some people work. But
Mhm.
then 5 o'clock, some people still work, but they can take a break. At least it's before dinner time and after a long day. So, you know, you're going to have to make something and make a decision. And I learned being a business owner, sometimes you just have to make decision quickly
Yeah,
and
and
then
we
do it.
accommodate all the people. Now, not everybody will be available.
Right. Or you're going to miss somebody. It doesn't matter what time you pick. You're going to miss somebody and you're going to get somebody.
Right. You just have to do it. One of the things too, I realized with the perfectionism thing, and you say, "Oh, I'm not sure if I can do it that well." I'm thinking too much about myself. But if I think about the person I like, who you're ministering to, then that helps so much more. Like even with writing, you say, "Oh, I have to think about my reader. Who's going to read this? Who's going to be helped?" And
Right.
I think of all the books I have read, like you were talking about, you listen to podcasts, you read books. Same for me. I've received so much hope and help from books and other people. So God says, now I can be a part of that and I can consistently reach out to others and help them. But I like the thing you were talking about, fear. Sometimes it is a certain fear of not measuring up or whatever that keeps us back.
Yeah. I think the more you sit on it, the longer you sit on it, the more reason you're going to talk yourself out of it.
Right. It is good that you acted quickly, you two. That's good.
Oh, hesitation. What can?
I think the process gonna take us slowly where to go, because in a lot of time in the beginning, many people have said that, you know, just do it, and then it will slowly guide you where you want. You will define it as you're doing it. But if you sit on the idea, you won't know if what's gonna happen. Just try a little sample and let it take you. And I find that very, very helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, daring to do perfectionist is the stumbling block for many of us.
Yeah.
Me too. But when we have a counter partner, somebody encouraging each other. So in this case, me and I, we encourage each other. So we just like we look we look to encourage us.
We never worked with each other before. We had one conversation, one face to face,
Wow.
and and we just like a long lost sister. We're just kind of like complimenting each other. So I find that really helpful when you have a accountable partner or somebody who has the same mindset and want to excel the same way. And that's, I'm always looking for people that I can partner up with and do things with, collaborate with, and I'm really lucky to have found Sarah.
That is good. That's so true. That if we have somebody else that's coming alongside of us, because then when they can inspire us and we can inspire them.
And it's less scary doing it by yourself.
And
Yeah.
another thing is I have a hard time being consistent sometimes if I'm not really good at something and I don't have the skills. But I do find that if I pray about it, God sends the people to help.
Oh
Even
yeah.
recently, I was having problems with Instagram and how do I consistently put something on there, and I couldn't figure certain things out. But then I remembered I have my granddaughter. You know, the young people, they understand all of that
Right.
so well, and so
There's a lot of angel out there that God sent
exactly,
to us. So
yes,
I'm always tell myself, be not afraid. That's the phrase that I like to use when I'm afraid. I was like, be not afraid.
yes,
Um,
Yeah.
so
We found it in all over the Bible.
mm-hmm,
exactly. God
mm-hmm.
says a lot.
Because God is there for us, so He will send somebody to help us out.
So yeah, let's keep doing it, and consistency is the king. We have to keep doing it, and when it's just amazing that you don't think it'll make a lot of change, but out of a sudden 2 months later you're like, wow, we have been consistency, and that's something that is something to be proud of. And I think, with many things in life, just don't think too much, just dive in and do a little bit at a time, and eventually you're going to look back and it's like, wow, how far have I come. So
Yeah.
Earlier, Sarah talked about a Bible study. I think, do you lead a Bible study, Sarah?
Yeah.
Yes, that has helped me so much with accountability and my walk as a Christian that I've gone to a Bible study like for so many years,
mm-hmm,
to be with other women. You know, we're all helping each other out and we're telling each other how we can be better at this
right,
Christian life. And it really helps. Now, lately, we have not met the Bible study that I go to, and that has been hard because they're not computer savvy people, so they don't
right.
know how to do the Zoom and all of that. So we're going to be very happy when we can get back together. But I have got to meet with my Sunday school class, so that's been good to keep up that, keeping our eyes on the Lord and consistently seeking Him and asking Him what He wants us to do next. So,
Yeah, I think this pandemic is teaching us a new tool, getting
Yeah.
online. And I think eventually when people have a chance to meet each other, everybody gonna learn about it. Because so if you're sick, or if you can't make the meeting, you still have an option to sit in if you want. That's another maybe thing. Things
yeah,
will change. I think things definitely change after this. So it's going to be a new culture of working, of meeting, of doing business. So I'm
yes,
kind of excited because now we have more options,
Yeah. Definitely. And
right?
yeah, even our
Yeah.
Toastmaster club, we always meet face to face. We
I
all
have a friend who's going all over the world. She's went Japan one day, 1 hour, and she's in Germany and in London. Yeah.
oh my,
So the opportunities that we would not normally have. So now is the time to act on it.
yeah. For the last few weeks, I was able to listen to the teaching of the World Championship Championship of Public Speakers. Um, come from Australia, Singapore,
Hmm.
all over the world.
Yeah. It's
Amazing.
global. We don't have to travel in order to go global. We can sit in our own desk and go anywhere we want. So that's the beauty of it.
that is
When it
amazing.
works.
Yes.
When it works.
Right. Yeah. And I was able to attend a club that meet in Washington State. Washington State, see,
I know.
no,
Yeah.
normally will take us out a day to travel there, but here it,
I haven't got time. I'm still working on my book, but once my book is done, that's my intention. I'm gonna visit all the clubs and all the thing that's virtual because the war is too delicious not to go for us to not to go out and sample everything because
Yes.
we don't really need to stay in one place and say, you know, I've never tried that. So for me, it's going to be a really great adventure to do it. So,
Good.
but consistency is still needed in order to approve anything. We have to have that consistency in order to get that approved because one time or twice is not going to make an impact, but you make a dozen time on and on.
a couple weeks ago we were talking about what is that a habit. In
Yeah.
order to build a habit, we have to do things in consistent, uh, created consistency, and then it will become a habit. And
Yes.
that's
Yeah, it's a routine.
yeah. And we build one at a time. Once you add one to your routine, you can add another one later. So,
I was thinking of the word steadfast when we were talking about consistency. And
yeah,
there's a verse about the Lord. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. It's in a song, but it's from Lamentations.
Hmm.
And so, see, he loves us consistently. He never
Yeah.
like says, "Oh, I don't feel like."
Not one day and then not the
Yes.
next day and then
And so he can help us to be steadfast in other things,
yeah,
right.
because he is a God who is steadfast and is always consistent. It says he never changes. He's the
Yeah.
same yesterday, today, and forever. So as we lean into him, I think that's going to help us a lot. But I
definitely.
just thank God today for how consistent his love is for us, no matter what.
Hmm.
True.
It's just
True.
a great thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So
Look at the time we
that is concluding our conversation on Friday at the end of May. So next week I see you. It will be June. I
yeah,
Thank
know.
you for letting me join you both today. It was
Oh,
a
wow.
pleasure. I feel very inspired every time I talk to you.
Oh, great. We're happy to
Thank
have you.
you. Yes,
Yeah,
look,
it's fun. Every day is a fun day.
it's good. My new prayer, Lord, help me to be consistent in everything. He's going to help us, right?
definitely.
Yeah, I think if you get into something that you like to do, you actually will look forward to it.
That's
So
true.
I think the key is trying to find something that pleasant trigger that action.
Yes.
So that will lead to that consistency. I mean, I have to find something that motivate me to want to do it. And then it's almost like, having a little bait
That's true. Yes.
to make it consistent. But it's something that we will be continuing to learn and to apply. It's not going to be something we talk about it and it's going to stick because I know it is a hard behavior to have it cling on. So, but thank you so much for being here